Welcome back to the Pylon Cam YouTube channel. I am your host, Mike, and welcome to our weekly waiver wire video. These videos are for fantasy football, hence by the title of Waiver Wire for fantasy football in the week 14 of the NFL. If your league is going by normal formats, playoffs are a week away. If your league didn't adjust from last year, I am a commissioner in a few leagues and like an idiot, totally forgot to do that. So 1 week we'll be kicking off playoffs this week. But you're 1 week out from playoffs. A lot of teams could still be in the hunt, still be out there trying to make their way in, like a lot of teams are in real life, trying to get in there. But anyways, I've organized these players from, I think, highest priority to what I would say lowest priority. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into these players. I was right about almost every single player last week, which was Alexander Madison, Sony Michel, I forget the rest. But you know who I was right about all season long, and if you didn't pick him up, shame on you, because I've been telling you all season long, even though I've only had like 3 listeners all season. Javonte freaking Williams. Oh my God, when we were pumping out trade target videos, he was in every single video, man. That kid is a beast. That kid is so good, and I'm so happy he finally got a shot, and he absolutely maximized what he could do with that shot. That kid is so good, dude. Hopefully Melvin Gordon's hip is exploded and he never comes back for fantasy football purposes. I hope he's all right, though, in real life. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the first player. First player for this week is JaMychal Hasty. If you missed the 49ers game against Seattle, upsetting loss, but we don't care about that because we're here for fantasy football. JaMychal Hasty was the only running back to escape healthy. Elijah Mitchell's in concussion protocol. Trey Sermon got put on IR. And, excuse me, Jeff Wilson, his knee injury flared up, whatever that means. So JaMychal Hasty's on deck. He's the next man up. I could imagine, knowing Kyle Shanahan, they're probably going to do some sort of split with, like, Juszczyk is going to get some carries somewhere along the line in there. But, being that JaMychal Hasty is the only person left that plays running back, and Kyle Juszczyk is his fullback, but being that JaMychal Hasty is the last one left, he's only 3% rostered according to Sleeper, I would definitely pick him up. I would throw some fab at him. There's a good chance he sees a full workload, which would be, if we're going off of what Elijah Mitchell has been doing since he's been the bell cow back there, 20-plus touches. And the 49ers offensive line is good enough where it doesn't matter to me like how talented the player is. Holes will be there. Holes are going to exist. Let's just drop my microphone stand. So we're going to pause the video here, and I will be right back. All right, just refix my microphone stand. Hopefully I don't knock it down again. Anyways, yeah, I think it doesn't matter how talented the player is. San Francisco's O-line is that good where holes are going to exist. And if you're getting 20 touches a game, like we know Kyle Shanahan does not like Jimmy Garoppolo, and we know he wants to take the ball out of his hand as much as possible. That's why he's literally running the ball with Deebo Samuel. And Deebo Samuel's out. So we're going to see a lot of JaMychal Hasty. We're going to see a lot of Brandon Ayuk like we did last week. I think this is a week where if you're desperate for a flex option, JaMychal Hasty is definitely the move, definitely the wave. Next player up is Samaje Perine, and this is kind of on a contingency. So Joe Mixon did go down last game against the Chargers with a neck injury, and he was starting to get rolling in that game, so it's a shame he went down. But Samaje Perine's next up. I think also Chris Evans is still out. I don't know if he was a healthy scratch or he was out with injury. He has an ankle injury, so there's a story there. If Mixon can't go, Perine's going to be next up. And we saw the last time that Joe Mixon, I forget if he left the game or he just didn't play, meaning he was hurt. Perine had 61% of the snaps, 11 attempts for 59 yards, 5 targets, 4 receptions, and 1 touchdown. So Perine definitely is a viable flex option. I think the Bengals O-line has definitely been rolling too when it comes to run blocking. So I think Perine, if you need a running back, he's the move for this week. Him or Hasty would be my first 2 options. And then I'm just trying to think here. He's only 11% rostered, so he's definitely available on waivers. He's going to be a hot grab. So if you have fab, I'd probably throw most of it at Hasty. And then I would throw the rest of it the same amount. I don't know. I think Hasty and Pylon are like neck and neck for priority, because we know Pyrrhine's going to get touches, but the thing is he might not get that many attempts, but he will get passing volume. We saw he's had 5 catches when Mixon was out, but with Mixon playing, he's still seeing 3 targets, 2 targets, and he's a good pass catching back. He's been catching most of his passes. So there is the upside if you're in PPR formats. I think like every fantasy, like nobody plays standard anymore, so who cares? But he does catch passes, which is always an upside, and he catches passes with Mixon playing. That's what I'm trying to stress here. Like he's going to see an increase in his target volume with Mixon being out, because Mixon has kind of picked up the workload when it comes to pass catching. The next player on this list, we talked about him last week, is Dontrell Hilliard. And if y'all listened last week, what did I tell you was going to happen? What did I tell you was going to happen? Because it happened. And some people think I have a crystal ball. Some people think I'm an idiot. I would say both are true. Dontrell Hilliard, people needed to drop him because they were going into a bye. This is why I told you to pick him up last week, because people were going to drop him. You claim him off waivers, and because people were like, oh, crap, he's going on to a bye. I need to pick him. I need to play some. I need to pick someone up. So who am I going to drop? I'm not going to drop Jonathan Taylor, so I'm going to drop Dontrell Hilliard because he's going into a bye, and I got him off of waivers, and I'll just pick him up again. This is why I said to pick him up last week, because this is someone who possibly maybe should be your top priority running back. I think a lot of these running backs are like, it would be Hasty 1A, P. Ryan 1B, and Hilliard 1C. Maybe Hilliard, I can make the argument that Hilliard should be 1A. But the reason why I'm putting him lower on the priority is because if y'all did your homework and watched this video last week, if you care about winning the playoffs, if you care about making the championship, you'd have picked him up already. But if you didn't, now you got to fight people for him. It's like a homeless person fighting over a chicken wing. But this dude he played 63% snaps against Houston, 51% snaps against New England, and had 131 yards against New England. This dude is legit. I don't know if he's like a great talent. He's 26, 5'11". He's been in the year for 3 leagues. Never heard of him before last week. But he looks explosive, and like we know that the Titans are built to run the ball effectively. And who does Derrick Henry literally own twice a year? And I'm talking about 150 yards twice a year, every single time. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Who do the Tennessee Titans play this week? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Who is going to run all over them? Dontrell Hilliard and his buddy, who is the next person on this list. I'm kind of grouping them together. D'Onta Foreman. I would take whichever one of these two are available. Dontrell Hilliard definitely has the upside because he is the pass catcher, being that in Week 11 he had 10 targets, 8 receptions. And then in Week 12, he only had 2 targets, 1 reception. D'Onta Foreman has only seen 2 targets max, but D'Onta Foreman is dominating the attempts. Last week against New England, he saw 19 attempts to Dontrell Hilliard's 12. So we'll see how they're used. Both of them had 100. The Titans rushed for 200 yards against the Patriots, which is kind of crazy if you think about how good the Patriots' run defense is. Both of these players can run the ball effectively. They're on a team where it doesn't really matter the talent level. They're going to get the workload, and they're going to have the opportunity, especially against the Jaguars. I'm getting the sense that Hilliard is the third down back, being that his passing volume is so high. I haven't watched much of the Titans since Derrick Henry went down, if I'm being honest. Plus, A.J. Brown is out, and Julio Jones is out. So I don't really care to watch Ryan Tannehill throw to people I have no idea who they are. But I do my homework, and I think that D'Onta Foreman is the, first, second down back, and being that the Titans can't really throw the ball, they're going to third down a lot, so both of these players have a good amount of volume regardless. Julio Jones is coming back this week, but I don't think it matters that much because he's been butt all year long. He's been booty cheeks all year long. He has had over 60 yards one time this season. I mean, I think that was one of the dumbest acquisitions in the offseason. They gave a second-round pick for him, and I get it, but, your team isn't built to pass. So, that was kind of just stupid to me. Anyway, the next player on this list is Ricky Seals-Jones. And I think if the other, technically 4 players, because I'm grouping Hilliard and Foreman together, if the other 4 players didn't have as high of a volume as I'm expecting or as much opportunity as I'm expecting, I would put Seals-Jones higher But with how volatile the tight end position is and how much more necessary it is to have a good flex option or running back or wide receiver, I put those two ahead of Ricky Seals-Jones. But Logan Thomas just tore his ACL. So if you are desperate at tight end, if you desperately need a tight end, I would dump the rest of your remaining fab on Ricky Seals-Jones, because when Logan Thomas was out, this dude played in week 4 93% of snaps, week 5 99% of snaps, and then week 6 through 8 100% of snaps, seeing a maximum of 9 targets and a minimum of 4 targets. He has seen 4 targets or more from week 4 through week 10 to where Logan Thomas was back. So this dude is going to get targets. He's going to get balls thrown at him. He's going to catch some balls really well. He's a really good ball catcher. He just likes balls. Taylor Heineke likes throwing the ball at him. He likes throwing his ball at him. Yeah. This dude, I think if you need a tight end, he's definitely. I don't know where he was, as in like if through weeks 4 through 8, which like tight end he was is like tight end 6, tight end 7. I don't know where he finished in that stretch, but he did have only under 9 points twice. So he's definitely a viable option. He gets the ball, like all jokes aside, he does get targets, a lot of targets. He sees a minimum of 4 targets. That's what the stats are saying. That's what everything about this is saying, is that if you need a tight end and you need points, like if you just need a serviceable tight end that you need 6 points out of, Ricky Seals-Jones is your guy, and Logan Thomas is out for the rest of the season. So perfect time for Seals-Jones going into playoffs. And then the next player on this list is Laquan Treadwell. He has been playing since week 11, 72% of snaps, and he started playing, I think, when Jamal Agnew got hurt in week 10. He has seen an increase in workload every single game. He played 35% of snaps in week 10, going into week 11, 72% of snaps, week 12, 86% of snaps, week 13, 93% of snaps, and he had 10 points against the Rams, and he led the team in targets for week 12 and 13. This week, they're playing the Titans. I think he could be a good, if you're in a dynasty league or a deeper league, I think he probably could get you at least 6 points, which is kind of what you would want for a waiver wire pickup. Maybe you would want more, but if you're in a pinch in a deep league, I like Laquan Treadwell. There are definitely better options in shallower redraft leagues, but I know a lot, like in dynasty leagues especially, like a lot of players are hurt. And for one of my dynasty leagues, it's like one of the worst weeks ever. I have Jonathan Taylor, Jalen Waddle, Ramondre Stevenson all on bye, and then my IR is Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Darren Waller might not play. So that's like, I changed my team name to Bambi's mom because it's just shot. But anyway, Laquan Treadwell, he's definitely seeing an increase in workload. For whatever reason, they don't want to give the ball to Laviska Shenault. Don't know why. But Treadwell has seen an increase in workload. He's led the team in targets the past 2 weeks. For whatever reason, they're game planning to get the ball to Treadwell. And against Tennessee, who's been struggling, I think, they're going to be behind this game. Like, Tennessee owns Jacksonville. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot. They're probably going to throw it to James Robinson, and then they're probably going to throw it to Treadwell. I think Marvin Jones is probably going to have a good game, but I think the 2 top performers are probably going to be Marvin Jones and Laquan Treadwell, because that seems to be the trend with the Jaguars. And I'm not a big trend guy. I'm just saying, don't live and die by the trend, but always look at them and make an opinion off of them if you think it's a fluke, if you think it's whatever. But, don't let that information just go to waste, is what I'm trying to say. And then the last part on this list should be higher. Maybe you want to pick him up because of the future value that is here. He has a pretty tough schedule throughout playoffs, but that player is Josh Reynolds on the Lions. He was supposed to be the wide receiver 2 for the Titans at the beginning of the year, and then they got Julio Jones, so they just were like, all right, bye, Josh. And then they ended up trading him, or the Lions ended up claiming him off of waiver, the practice squad. I forget exactly how that happened. Maybe waivers. But he's the past 3 weeks against Cleveland, Chicago, and Minnesota, he's played 83+% of snaps, and he has seen 3, 5, and 7 targets. And he did catch a touchdown. So I think Josh Reynolds actually is the best wide receiver on this team. You could definitely make the argument St. Brown is. I wanted to put Amon-Ra St. Brown on this list. I just feel like he's way more likely to be owned than not. But Amon-Ra St. Brown did have 12 targets, or 14 targets to which he caught 12. So I think Josh Reynolds is way more likely to be on waivers. But if you could snag St. Brown, definitely snag St. Brown. Because I think he's going to see more targets, especially against the thing with St. Brown. What I'm worried about and why I put Josh Reynolds on this low on the list is because of the matchup. They are playing Denver, and if Patrick Surtain is covering St. Brown, I think he's going to have a really hard time. Whoever is covering Josh Reynolds, if it's Kyle Fuller or I forget the other guy right off the top of my head, but it's going to be a tough matchup. But anyway, guys, that's the list. Those are my waiver wire pickups for this week. Let's see if we can keep the streak rolling of being hot. Yeah, man, if you liked it, please do all that good YouTuber stuff, comment, subscribe. Check out our social media, which has been linked. It's gonna be linked in the description. It's been flashed on the screen throughout this video. And if you're interested in mock drafts and 2022, if you're interested in college, check out our mock drafts. Those have been the most popular videos on our channel. They have really blown up. I've put in a lot of work for those. I put in more work for these videos, to be honest with you, but those videos, a lot of people seem to like them. They get the most interaction on the channel, so I'll have that linked in the description below too. I'll have the link to the latest one. We're on mock draft 5, and then we're gonna have our power rankings tomorrow and podcast on Thursday. So if you liked what you heard, if you liked what you saw, if you want to call me an idiot, that's fine. Just explain why. Yeah, this is our waiver wire video, and we look forward to see you in the next one. Peace.